So Anthony has a question. Anthony says, is social media still the best way to get subscribers? Okay, this is a really good question. Anthony, if you're still here, I would love to know if when you say subscribers, you mean your podcast? Do you mean a YouTube channel? Do you mean email subscribers? Let me know, because the more specific we can get with it, I think that the better off I can serve you and anybody else that's watching or listening to this. But I'll go ahead and start with the most generic version, right? The quote unquote subscriber that we're trying to get. So for social media, it is a great place to have organic reach, meaning you are spending your time to get in front of an audience that otherwise you probably couldn't pick up the phone and, have this direct connection with them. So having a broader appeal on social channels is absolutely a great way to get your content out there. The next question I'm sure that you have, and most people have, is if social media is so great, which one is the best? Which one should I be on? And this is a concept that's been around for a while, and I still stick by it. It's where is your audience? Because wherever your audience is hanging out is where you should be. And I say that with a caveat because I have people tell me their audience is on Twitter, and I'm like, that's fantastic. I don't like Twitter. I've never liked Twitter. It's not something that I do. Like I don't even have Twitter installed on my phone. I don't have it. It's never been a platform that I really like. Same with TikTok. Like I've tried to get into TikTok, like posting and watching it. Like I don't know. There's something about it that I don't really like it. And so I don't really post stuff on there. I have a TikTok account. It's there, but I don't post on it regularly, even though all the experts, social media experts will tell you if you're not on TikTok, like you're dead in the water. What are you doing? You should be on TikTok. And I just have the belief that, you know what? I really enjoy Instagram. I really, really enjoy the platform. My audience is there. That's where I'm going to show up. I also have a Facebook group. Now, things have changed and shifted over the years where I think that in the past, you could post regularly on your Facebook page and get a lot of reach. You could post in a Facebook group and, people would have this experience. You could go live on a Facebook page and get a ton of reach. But in reality, in 2023, that's not as much of the case as it used to be. So social media is a great place, but I think that if you're looking to grow, Anthony answered. So he is looking to grow his podcast subscribers specifically. I think that the best way to look at it, Anthony, is to see how you can get in front of other podcast listeners. So instead of converting social media people, right? People that like an audience that's on social media, even if you had 100,000 people, you don't know how many of those people are listening to podcasts. Now, granted, that number, the statistic of how many, like I'm in the US, so let's just say American numbers, how many people are skewing towards listening to podcasts, that is significantly jumped up. It is so much higher than whenever, I still had to explain to people what a podcast was whenever I was first getting started. I remember having to grab my neighbor. She was, she lived right down the road, and she's like, well, what are you up to? I'm like, well, I started this podcast. What is a podcast? She was a nurse practitioner. So she was like, I don't have time for that. I don't know what that is. I literally had to grab her phone, subscribe her to my podcast, and she still probably never listened to it. And I don't know if she listens to podcasts today, but that's how it was whenever I first got started. Whereas now, most people know what a podcast are and more people listen. So let's go back to the scenario of having the social media audience. You don't know how many of those people are going to listen to a podcast. But in contrast, with a podcast, if you're guesting on someone else's show, if you're running ads on another podcast, you already have a captive podcast listening member, a podcast listening audience right there. And so that is where it's worth investing your time, your energy, your dollars into those areas of growing your podcast, because you don't have to convince them that podcasts are amazing, right? You know your podcast is awesome. We know podcasting is amazing, and you don't have to convince them either. They're already bought and sold on listening to podcast. You just have to make the convincing argument for them to listen to your podcast.